Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our episode 4 of our series building a sitcom in Minecraft. Last episode I left you with a sort of half-completed, maybe an eighth completed street scene, and I've been working away, and this is the back of the completed version. If I take you around the front, then you can see it in all its glory. So ignore the quartz down the middle of the street. That's just for sort of tracking shots. But so we've got the two kind of shops we had last time, the flower shop there and the coffee shop. Also added a bookshop, and over here that's the bookshop, and over here there's like a clothes shop with various bits and pieces in it, armor stands with stuff on them, and then there's this little road here, and it's, bear in mind, it's going to be filmed from here, so it doesn't need to be too detailed at the opposite end. So there's a shop here that basically has some tables in it, just for the sake of it not looking empty from a distance. And this is kind of my interpretation of a sort of derelict, boarded up shop with kind of fly posters on the outside, and a car park, parking lot. So yeah, just as a way of kind of rounding out the end of the street. And then up here it just goes to nowhere. So if we walk back down here, then we can sort of see, like, there's basically, what I'm going for is like a shot here, and that's a static shot, and then one that will be like a tracking shot down the street like that. So that all kind of works quite well, I think. The only thing to do is this end, but I was going to build this, and then I kind of thought, well, the other thing I have to build, the other sort of set for a scene, is the kind of concert hall type place. So I've kind of started here, as you can see, but yeah, I figured, why not just make that the end of the street. Basically, these buildings, I've tried to make them quite, well, slightly different from each other. These slightly different style, or this building here is a slightly different style from this building here, and kind of the car park and things like that. But I even put some little gargoyle heads on this building to make it a bit different. You can see these skeleton heads. And ignore the roof stuff, because that's just that'll be out of shot. That's just stuff there just to close it in and make it dark. So yeah, that's what I've tried to do here. It makes it a bit kind of samey, but the problem is that there's not really any blocks that are suitable other than stone. Anything else you build out of, like brick, looks a bit busy, and sandstone, yeah, it doesn't quite look right for a kind of a city block type building. But I'm going to try and work it into the sort of opera house thing down here. I think it suits that better, so that'll sort of provide a bit of visual variety. But yeah, so yeah, I've basically just sort of decorated all these shops here well enough that you can scan past them. This is, yeah, armor frames and various different random kind of outfits, and a few item frames at the back, and then the lighting in all of them is hidden in the roof. Basically, you can't see it from the outside shot, because these are probably just going to get used as things to scan past. So from this sort of angle, so they stand up to that, and you can see the far one there. You really can't make out much other than there's something in it. So I didn't bother too much with decorating that. I built them up to the height they need to be at, and then enclosed them all, and done kind of interior walls and things of different colours. And this is the car park. I don't think that's turned out too bad. One thing to note though is if we kind of do this shot, it's not too bad, but it kind of, if you see the building at the far end there on the left of the screen, looks kind of bent in because of the field of view. So what I might do is play around with just flattening the field of view a bit. So I mean that basically works like this. Now there it is. So we can see zoom in effectively and zoom out to the top level, which is Quake Pro, which is, you can make some pretty trippy stuff with, but showed you kind of crazy effect. It's possibly going to, if there's any kind of drunk scene or something that I need to do, then that could work pretty well as a simulation of being drunk, wandering around a city. But so if we go back, normal is 70. So if you take it down to, nothing, well, take it down to 30, which is the lowest, then it's very, very zoomed in, but there's no distortion at all, you see. So if you go back to this little block here, then you can see you can do a fairly similar shot. So I may well kind of mess around with that to make it, to take the sort of slant off the distant objects. Might need to just kind of move around a bit, but yeah, I'm gonna have a play with that, but I'm gonna put it back to where it was, because it's a nightmare trying to do anything otherwise. There we go. So next thing to do is the concert hall type of thing, and I've taken a look at a few different sort of concert halls. It's, Carnegie Hall and the Royal Albert Hall and places like that. It's pretty, there's not really any standard definition of a concert hall. There's no sort of tropey type. So I've kind of thought, set it back from the road a bit and put some steps up to it. Makes it look a bit sort of grand. And then I've got sort of 4 doors here, which I'll just leave open, I think, because they don't really look that good when they're closed. They're the wrong sort of door. But yeah, so I think I'll build that up in some way. I might try and use some brick in it, just maybe some stripes of brick or something like that, and bring it out here. So let's try some, just some normal sandstone. So something like, sort of bring the building out to here. Yeah, like that, and kind of build up, build back from there. So yeah, so it makes kind of an entrance and kind of flares out the front of it, gives it a bit of depth, and especially as it's going to be kind of being seen at a distance down the street, it might work quite nicely to just sort of have that entrance there. So I'm going to try that out. The only thing with sandstone is it's kind of busy, So there's the chiseled sandstone as well, which is this stuff, which is even busier and has pictures of creepers on it. But I reckon that might be quite cool as a little accent. Like I've got it around the door at the moment, but I doubt I'm going to leave it like that. But yeah, there's that. There's the steps, and then there's the smooth sandstone. But that's kind of got that weird square on it, which I'm not. Yeah, I mean it should be okay, I think. And then there's like actual sand. So I'm going to have a play around with them and see which one comes out the best for the sort of primary building block. Yeah, the brick, I don't know whether like bands of brick might work quite well. Let's have a look. Where the hell's the brick gone? Oh, there it is. So like yeah, that's the problem with using sand. Something like that type of thing round it, maybe. Possibly. Stick that back on there. So like have that as a stripe kind of running around the building or something like that, or yeah, I don't know. I'll have a play around with it. And I mean, also if I don't go with this kind of flared out front here coming sort of into the foreground, then I suppose one thing that people probably associate with kind of concert venues is kind of marquees, you know, the big kind of roof bit that comes off the front of the doors, the sort of big square roof that they'll have, you know, appearing tonight, Frank Sinatra or whatever. Yeah, well, unlikely, but could happen. You know, one of them. So yeah, I'll have a look, see what I come up with, and yeah, I shall return when I have something to show you. Okay, and we're back. And you may notice, hidden on the left side of the frame, we now have a concert hall. It's kind of it's fulfilling the criteria of being made of different materials to the rest of the city. I mean, bear in mind, it's not going to be I don't think it's going to be looked at from that kind of angle. Possibly that kind of angle, something like that. But for the first episode, it's just going to be done sort of in that shot we had previously, in kind of this type of shot. But yeah, I ended up basing it on well, very very loosely on the Albert Hall in London. Yeah, it's kind of brick and yeah, sandstone, and that was basically why I based it on that. Yeah, I was kind of looking at the whatever it's called, Avery Brooks Hall, Avery somebody Hall in Lincoln Center in New York, but that's like a really modernist kind of thing. Didn't quite look right in the kind of in the context of the city. It's like it's sort of an exoskeleton type of a building. So yeah, kind of went for this. Sort of alternated the bricks with the sandstone. Put some little, well, chiseled sandstone blocks in there. And yeah, kind of tried to make it, you know, as 3D-ish as possible, while still making it kind of realistic. It looks, I think, quite a lot like a 1920s sort of cinema. But yeah, that's probably not a bad thing. You know, there's probably quite a few 1920s cinemas that have been turned into concert venues. So yeah, those, I mean, the stairs there and the doors are the same, but obviously it's not a very big concert hall. That's the only problem. Yeah, it's a pretty small concert hall. Very small concerts. maybe a string quartet could fit in there or something. Or you could. Yeah, I mean, Poison would probably play it, to be fair. But yeah, so I basically lined this room with dark oak, so it probably doesn't actually need to be lined with dark oak because you can't really pick up any light at all. And then I've got just some red wool carpet type stuff. I was kind of thinking of putting some more stairs in and kind of having that as what you would see, just more stairs going up. But I think this is as good as anything because it means you can have people walk out of it and, all that kind of stuff without having to, design a whole foyer or whatever, and also not just have this huge wall of stairs. Around the back. So this is kind of like an inside-out console. That's basically what it looks like around the back. That doesn't need to be there. So it's literally just that little room, and then I just built it along the road about 5 blocks. It works from the shot from up there, and it works for the shot that we need sort of here-ish, or maybe there. It doesn't make any difference. And then you can even do a sort of establishing shot type of thing if you I guess about there, maybe a bit further forward, that kind of thing. So you can kind of get an establishing shot of the concert hall. That's that built. I'm quite happy with it. I think it'll do. But please comment if you have any further ideas. So that's basically all of the sets built that we need in order to do the pilot episode of the sitcom. So next time I'm going to move on to actually putting it together, filming it, that kind of stuff. And that door isn't in the right place, I've just noticed. Go there. There we go. So next time, moving on to filming it. So basically be animating each scene, still intending to use custom NPCs. The one major thing I have to do is try and work out how to make them sit down, because they're not well, they'll sit down but they won't sit on chairs, so I need to kind of do something with the chairs in order to get them to sit on the chairs. I'm not entirely sure whether, like, if I click on this chair, whether... Oh, no. See, I can not sit on a chair either. So, either I'll find a way to do that, or it'll be a case of some camera angles to make it look as though people are sitting on chairs when they're actually standing in them. Can I sit on that one? Nope, I can stand in it. Oh. Never mind. So that's one thing to work out. But so basically, next step is animating. So I will be posting some videos on that as I go. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long. The custom NPC mod, makes it really easy to do this kind of thing that Grave here is demonstrating for us. If there's a shot of guy walks through the front door and walks up to the kitchen counter, then that takes about 5 minutes to program in and run and film, and that's that. The talking's slightly more difficult because there'll be sort of head nodding type action to indicate that people are talking, or possibly the hands going up and down, which you may have seen before, but kind of so people are talking. You can make the arms go up and down to sort of gesticulate as if they're talking. So it means everybody looks very animated all the time, which I quite like. It's a sitcom, so it's got to be a bit overly dramatic. That's next time. But until then, have a very good day, and I'll see you in the next one.